All right, I'm a minute early, but just two things, because not all of you may have been here during the break, so I want to make sure you hear this. Tomorrow will be the hands-on Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Colin, since you've not taken a hands-on, they are open book, they are open note. I will walk around a little bit. You are not expected to go out and phone a friend or go out to the internet to get the answers, etc. You should all know what's going to be on the test because I told you all three questions. All right? So that'll be tomorrow. Friday, what we'll do is we'll do the written test for Chapter 3, the one we went over yesterday. All right, we'll do that for the first 30 minutes, and I'm going to give you a lab for the rest of the time because I want everybody to be caught up. All right? Monday, when you come in here, what we'll do is we will do the written for Chapter 4, all right? And I will lecture on Chapter 5. Tuesday, I'm looking at right now probably making that lab just about the entire period. And Wednesday then would be the hands-on for Chapters 3 and 4. I'll let you know that as we go on because that was a lot to throw at you, but just so you know what's going on. So hopefully you've got your test pages up. Question 1, what flowchart shape is used for alternative courses of action? It's the diamond, and technically it's this. It looks literally like a baseball diamond would look. That is it, right there. All right. The reason I tell you that is diamonds can have different shapes and sizes. All right, but that's what they're talking about. For number 1 is the diamond. Number 2, a block is one or more statements within curly braces. All right, I've got to watch out with what I call these because some books call those braces, some books call them brackets. I was always taught those are called curly braces. So I put that here, also known as curly braces. But again, there's not everyone agrees with that. But if you show somebody the picture, they can all get it. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, and if you look up on the screen here, I'm not going to remove this, but if you look up on the screen for a second, what they're saying is this. If I wrote something like this, if x greater than 3. So if I wrote something like that, all right, then I put in here a curly brace, and I put in here if y is less than 2. It's kind of important that you at least see this. And I put in another curly brace. So I've got some stuff here. I don't care what it is. So there'd be some code here. I don't care. Some code. All right. Then, okay, I put in here else. You should all know, looking at this, with what we've got on the screen right here, well, that if is ended, right? So that else must go with that if. That's what they're asking. Just because you line stuff up on the screen doesn't mean diddly. All right? So that's what they're saying. It's always with the most recently unpaired if. Bless you. Number 4, you terminate a C-sharp switch statement with the break statement. And technically, it's via a break semicolon statement. Number 5, yes. That's an easy one to write out. You can have as many ands, ors, nots as you need in a single statement. Number 6, unfortunately, that's a long one. I once taught out of a book that said sequence is like an old man, an old widow, who gets up every morning and does the exact same thing, goes to bed, gets up the next day, and does the exact same thing. It never varies. That's sequence. Decision is also known as selection. And you know this already. I'll give you time. You can type all that in, but you know this. So decision means it's an if or an if else, or an if else, if else. That's what they're saying. I'm still taping. Either Sunday or Monday morning, you're going to get an email from me, and the test reviews for chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be in there. I've already written them, but I haven't proofed them yet. So I will proof them sometime this weekend. I don't know if you heard, I'm going to St. Louis on Saturday, and I was going to show you this before we leave today. There's a new, not new, but there's another way that you can create Android apps where you don't have to write any code at all. All right, and I'm going to show you that in case you're interested, and show you a couple of the apps that I've written. They're cheesy, but that's what I was showing Charles before class started. So. And again, those of you who are still typing, you've got to learn somehow. You've got to come up with a faster way. You've got to become a more proficient typist. All right, so number 7. And they both have to be true, or at least one must be true. So again, you saw this before too, that if I come through here and I write if X, whatever that happens to be, and Y, okay, this must be true and this must be true. They both must be true. But if I write if X or Y, then either this one must be true or that one must be true, not both. They can both be true, but they don't have to both be true. Number 8. That's short circuit evaluation. Told you that was going to be on there. Number 9. And is double ampersand. Non-conditional is single ampersand, conditional or, double ampersand, all right, non-conditional or single ampersand. I don't know why she puts that in there, because I don't know of anyone who uses non-conditional ands or ors, but that's just, so think non is 1, all right? Number 10, a little long, but you can see it. There's not a lot to type, but just so you see it all. Again, this is 1, 2, 3. This is about 5 questions from the test. All right? I just didn't want these review sheets to be 30 pages each. That's why I ended up combining a lot of stuff together. Everybody got that? Okay. Number 11, it's the conditional operator. It's also known as the question mark before what you do is true, the colon for what's false, and it's also known as the ternary operator because there are 3 different operands that are in there. Number 12, exclamation point. That's it. Number 13, pseudocode. And yeah, that's how it's spelled. So if yours gets the squigglies, I don't think that that's in the word dictionary. 14 is flowchart. So I don't remember if this is a short answer or not. Please don't answer if it is a question like, don't say a pseudocode is similar to pseudocode. Don't do that. Okay. 15, dual alternative. Sixteen is switch. $17, I've never heard that before. She wrote it. The governing type. And the last thing will be the definition, so I'm just going to try to clean it up a little. So again, I can put it all on the same screen. So just give me a second here. Cut that down. Let's make it about 4. First one is 18. Well, that's most of it. I'll give you some time to get that, and then I'll move it down in just a second. So do these 3, and then I'll move it up as soon as everybody's got those first 3, 18, 19, and 20. As soon as you've got those put in, then I'll move it up. Does everyone have these first two done? Yes? Everybody has the first two done? Those two? All right, let me move that. There. That's everything. They said somewhere around between now and 10 minutes from now, then Charles is either going to knock at the door or just come in, and we're going to walk next door. Has everybody got it done? Is there anybody, any of the ones that you need me to show up again? So last time, hands-on test tomorrow, chapters 1 and 2. There will be 3 problems. The first problem will basically just ask you to input your name and then spit it back out. That's 25% of the test. Ideally, you can do that in 10 or 15 minutes, max. The second one will ask you to enter 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is, numbers, and find the average. You know that you've got to add the numbers up and divide by how many you have. All right, make sure when you add them up, put them in parens. The last one will ask you, it's going to be an interactive program. If you know, or you can do it as a GUI, but it'll ask you basically how many t-shirts or whatever you bought. And then based on that, it'll ask you your name and your address, your city, state, zip, and then how many t-shirts you bought. And they're like $14.99 each. And then you have to multiply. So if I say 6, you have to multiply the 6 by the 14.99 and then write like a little receipt for the person. Okay. All right. And the last thing I just want to show you then before, this is, no, that's not the one I want to show you. Did I remove it? Doggone it. Oh, let's see, it's not this. Oh, we will have on Friday morning, before I start lecturing, for, looks like for 20 minutes, sometime in there. David Markowitz, and you may or may not have seen him, he's a gentleman of smaller stature, got gray hair and a beard. He's been walking around here lately. He is the new student success counselor for this school. He's a very nice guy. All right, he's going to come in and talk to you about the services that he provides. And you might raise your hand and go, we didn't ask for that. I didn't either. All right, but that's what they're doing. The school wants to make sure that if you have needs, that as much as they can, that the school tries to take care of them for you. Okay? So, did the FAFSA with you. Talked about the Learn C#. And we did the review. I'll see if I can do it from here. Yep. So this is what I showed Charles this morning. That's I can show you that one, but it's a crummy one. This is what I'm going to show these high school kids, hopefully at least, on Saturday. All right, so I made this, guess the number type of game. And you can connect literally right through an emulator. And I'm not showing it to you because it's so cool. I want to show it to you because I wrote no code to do this. None, not a line. And I'll show you what we have to do in just a second. Hopefully this will come up before. And I added speech to it. You'll be able to hear it, but it probably won't, even with this turned up, you probably won't hear it very well. But just to show him how easy it was, I added another button to it, and that's this. And when you click the button, it says, "Hi, Charles Corrigan." Now, that wouldn't have been an actual application, but I put that in there anyway. So, it's not up yet. When this comes up, this is called an emulator. It's emulating a regular phone. When it all comes up, that'll look just like this does. Come on. This is why you don't turn the emulator off after you've got it on. I'm just proving that to you right now. Not on purpose, but whatever. Sorry it's not responding. Oh, isn't that fantastic? Well, what you would have seen is it would have come in here, this little box inside of it would have said 1 to 100. So if I would have clicked in there and put in 50 and clicked check yes, you would have heard on the screen, the guess 50 is too low, And the way that was written, just so you see it, it looks really ugly. It's not terrible. I showed Charles this. What I did was I came in, and in fact, I'm going to remove this and put it back in just so you see it. Yeah, I'm going to remove that. So if I want, let's say, so right in here for this text, if I want to click this and I want it to say, "Hello, Charles Corrigan," that's what I showed him. So then what I do is I go over to what's called the blocks editor, and I pull out that button, which is called button 1. Whoops, not like that. I pull out the button that's called button 1, which is right there. So I click on it, and I say, when that button's clicked, what do I want to do? Well, I've got a thing in there that's text to speech, and that's what allows the speech to take place. And I say this. You couldn't hear that, but it actually clicked when it fit in there. And what do I want to do? Well, see there's a little notch right there. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. So I have to tell it what I want it to say. So I click in there, and then I put in the text I want. So if I want it to say, "Howdy, everybody." Now, when I run this program, and I click that button, there'll be the speech synthesized voice will say, "Howdy, everybody." That's it. So I'm going to have 4 groups of 6 students each They're going to cycle their way through there in this high school, and I'm going to try to build 4 or 5 apps with them in an hour. All right, so it'll be interesting. I have no idea how much experience they do or do not have. So like I said, the whole thing will be interesting. But when I told them I wanted to do this, I thought maybe they'd say no. They liked it, so. Said they should be coming in here very shortly.